Alright guys, now that we've understood some basic things in Python, right, now let's try and do some very intuitive and basic problems that everybody faces, and we can try and bring them in Python and see if we can solve it using some logic that we have. So the first case that we're going to deal with is where we'll have to write a function, right? So we'll be writing a function to which accepts which basically tells us whether a year is leap or not. Okay, so what we are going to do here is we're going to create a function called is underscore leap. Okay, now that we have done this, what we are going to do is we're going to give an argument n to this function, which will be essentially the year that we'll be passing to it. The next thing is we're going to do some logic to find out if the year is a leap or not. So the logic says that if n percentage 400 is equals to 0, then that means return true, right? Let's come on to the next statement, which says if n percentage 100 is equals to 0, then return false. If n percentage 4 is equals to 0, then return true, right? So anything that is divisible by 4, or essentially 400, if it is year 2000, then it will be a leap year, right? And then return false, right? So let's print is underscore leap, the function, int the input, we're going to accept the input from the user, and yes, int and input, right? So there you go. Now let's put in a year here. So let's say 2001. So 2001 is not a leap year, that's why it's false. Let's put another year, let's say 2000, it is true. Let's put let's try another one, let's say 2020, right? So this accepted an input from us and basically told us whether the year is leap or not. Right, now next case, what we are going to do is that we're going to make a 2-player rock scissors paper game, right? So we're going to ask for player plays using an input and compare them. Then we're going to print a message of congratulations to the winner and ask the player if they want to start the game again or not. Now some rules that we have to remember here is that rock beats scissors, scissors beat paper, and paper beats rock, right? So let's write this and see if we can create a small function which can do this, right? So let's start this. So I'm gonna import sys, then I'm gonna create user1 is equals to input what is your name. So we are accepting an input from the user, okay, which is the name of the user number 1. Then we are gonna take user number 2, we are gonna accept their name. What is your name player 2, and we'll write player 1 here, right? Okay, so there you go. So we have user 1, we have taken the input, we have user 2 where we have taken the input, and let's go ahead and proceed with the next part. Okay, so now we're gonna give an answer to the user also. is equals to input, and what we're gonna say is, do you want to choose rock, paper or scissor, right? So we want to ask the user first what they want to choose, and that we're going to store in the user answer variable, right? So %s comma, do you want to choose rock, comma, paper, or SICISSORS, rock, paper, scissors, right? So this is the input that we're going to take from user number 1. So user 1 answer. Then we're going to take input from user 2. User 2 underscore answer will be equal to input %s comma, do you want to choose rock, comma, paper, or SCISSORS. So I have done a mistake here. Okay, or scissors. All right. So there you have the input from the user 1 and user 2 as their answers. Right now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna construct a function called compare. We're gonna pass it two variables, u1 comma u2, right? The input that we have taken from basically both the players. Then if we're gonna write some conditions which will basically tell us whether who's gonna win, is equals to u2, then return it is a tie, right? So if both the players have the same, then it is a tie. Okay, now the next statement says, the next statement will be if, okay, so it will be a else if, or we'll just say elif u1 is equals to rock, if u1 else if is equals to rock, then, and if u2, now we have the first one, right? So we have u1 is equals to rock, and then we'll have to take the second statement, right? So if u2 is equals to scissors, then what we're gonna say is return rock wins. Okay, now else we're gonna do again return paper wins. Okay, so we have the condition if else if u1 is equals to rock, if you return rock wins. Okay, now let's go on and check the other conditions, right? So we have our first condition that we have written. Now the next condition will be elif u1 is equals to scissors, and if u2 is equals to paper, return SCISSORS, scissors win, paper wins. So we'll just put an exclamation mark. All right, scissors win, right? So if we have the scissor also winning, now we'll have one second. So we have if u1 is equals to scissors and if u2 is equals to paper, then scissors, we return that scissors win. Now the else condition will be return rock wins. Okay, so we have the rock wins. Now we'll put another condition here. We have this one, so we'll do elif u1 is equals to paper, and if u2 is equals to rock, then we return that paper wins. Return paper wins. What we're gonna do next is, we have written the if statement, now we're gonna write the else statement. Return scissors wins. Okay, now what we have to write is a else statement here. Else, let me see if the indentation is proper. Yes, else return invalid input, you have not entered rock, comma, paper or scissor, scissor, and try again. Okay, and we close our parentheses here, and we do a sys.exit. Now what we're gonna do is print compare user1 underscore answer, comma, user2 underscore answer. What is your name, player 1? So my name is Lavish. What is your name, player 2? Let's say Sam. What do you want to choose, rock, paper or scissors? I choose rock, and I choose paper. Paper wins, right? Because that's how it works. Now let's try again. So I'm gonna input my name as Lavish, or let's say Sam this time. Danny. Do you want to choose rock, paper or scissors? So let's take paper and scissors this time. So essentially scissors should win, right? So paper, ISSOR, scissors, and scissors wins. So there you have your program, which basically tells you if if you play the game of rock, paper, scissors, and what happens then. Now let's try and giving some random input, which could be essentially wrong here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put Sam this time and Danny, right? So I'm gonna, let's say I'm gonna say hill over here instead of a rock, and I'm gonna say scissors, invalid input, you have not entered rock, paper or scissor, so we gotta try again. Okay, so there you have your program, which can essentially do a small game of rock, paper and scissor for you, right? So that was interesting, right?